What's up, guys? So today we're going to do a client interview with Pam Valenti. Pam's been working with us for a long time, and so we're going to go through her fitness journey. So sit back, relax, and let's go through the interview. All right, Pam. So first question, can you share just a little bit more about your background and kind of what got you interested in fitness in the first place?
So, I'm relatively older than some of your clients, and back in the 70s, we'll just call them, there wasn't tons with women's fitness. Men were fit, but women's fitness wasn't really a big push or anything. But in junior high, I was going to go out for track, and I was going to be the world's greatest shot putter at 5'2" and 100 pounds or whatever I was. But you weren't allowed to do a field event unless you did a running event. So I started running. That took off, and I ran track and cross country throughout high school and cross country in college, and I've been a runner ever since. I've done strength training periodically over the years, but had not done it consistently for a long time. Then decided I needed to incorporate that back into my fitness journey if I wanted to continue on with my healthy lifestyle into the next decades.
Definitely. And so as you've gotten older, how much more important do you think strength training has been for you, as far as your health and your physicality? What sort of benefits have you seen?
Oh, the benefits have been huge. Well, when in college, we ran 70 miles a week. My body would absolutely not tolerate running 70 miles a week. I maybe run 20, 25 on a great week now. Well, you have to do something else then. And also, I noticed, which was when I had sort of reached out to you, but I noticed I was starting to get more injuries. I was gaining weight, and all the things, but I knew that I needed to be stronger to remain injury free. And so I now lift weights that I never thought I possibly even could. My leg strength is better. My overall health is better. My blood pressure dropped on my last doctor's visit. It's adding that piece in has been huge. And I know a lot of middle-aged women don't think they should be lifting, but they should.
Do you feel like you're stronger now than you were in your 20s and 30s?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And even about 15 years ago, maybe not quite 15, so right around the time I was 43-ish, I was doing CrossFit, and I really liked that new challenge of CrossFit, except the programming wasn't specific for me. So you go to the class and everybody's doing the same thing, but when we weren't in class the other 4 days a week, we weren't all doing the same thing. So I just kept getting hurt. I was getting stronger, but the emphasis on nutrition wasn't there. So I was also getting bulkier, and I didn't like that. I know that's the thing, women bulky, but because I wasn't eating according to how I should be eating with that strength training. But ultimately, I just ended up getting injured more from doing that training. So I knew I needed to not go back to that. And I knew I needed people who know more about strength training than I do to help guide me along the way.
So when it comes to doing CrossFit classes and stuff like that, why did you end up choosing to work with myself and the team instead of working with, a personal trainer in person, or going to a CrossFit class or a different group training class?
Well, I wanted to avoid the group training piece because I wanted something that was specific for me and my needs. I started following you and what you were doing with your clients in, I think, 2020. And so I started in 2023. So I had watched what you were doing. I saw the progress you were making. And yes, I know at that point you had, and probably still do, way more male clients than female clients, but I knew enough to know, okay, he knows what he's doing. What I see I like and trust, and then I hit a point of frustration with my own self, and that's kind of when I reached out with you. You had put a question out there about metabolism and stuff, and that's when I had started reaching out to you, trying to figure out and get some answers, and it worked.
History, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit ago, we kind of mentioned a little bit about nutrition, and obviously CrossFit not really having any sort of nutritional guidance.
Mm-hmm.
As you've gotten older, what are some things you've taken from the program nutritionally that you feel like has really helped you over the last few months or few years?
Well, one thing is, at 57, I cannot eat the same way as I did at 21 when I was in college and running 1 million miles a week, right? Your macro split's just not going to be the same exact, but definitely protein. Oh my gosh, protein, protein, protein. I know you guys keep pushing it, and Nat just always keeps saying, hit your protein goals. And Peter before him, hit your protein goals, hit your protein goals. Even if everything else doesn't line up perfectly, make sure you're getting in enough protein. And honestly, there are days where I'm like, oh my God, I cannot eat any more protein. But at the same time, it's fueling my body. My body feels good. I'm not trying to add or lose necessarily, but my weight has been pretty stable for about a year. But my body comp has definitely changed, right? And so tracking the nutrition, tracking the fuel, knowing that equation of what's going in and the output and everything else, that's been a huge game changer.
100%. What like other diets have you tried in the past that maybe didn't work out compared to what you're doing now?
I've never really been much of a dieter because I think diet is die with a T on the end. I mean, I've just always known it, and I've had lots of, I'm on this diet. I'm on Whole30. I'm on Hard 75. I'm on this, I'm on that. And for me, even before I started this, I've said, okay, but Whole30, so great. So you're gonna change your life for 30 days. You're gonna drop weight or whatever. Now at day 31, when you go back to your old eating habits, what's gonna happen? If you don't make lifestyle changes that you can consistently keep, you're gonna end up exactly back where you were. The one thing I did do a little bit of was intermittent fasting, and that actually worked a little bit for me, but it also wasn't something I was gonna sustain long time. Like that was just sort of a little bit of a reset, I think. But really, I think any changes you're making dietary, like you have to be able to, one, realize it's not perfection, right? And I know, like, even with all the stuff we put in where I'm tracking, it's not you have to be at this number every day. It's here's your range and be within that range. So that's doable, right? It's not like a super strict one number does all. And I think you guys have done a great job of emphasizing like, hey, you do still have to live your life. So if you have a sweet treat or you have something periodically, that's fine, because it's what you consistently do that helps make the changes.
100%. 100%. Something you mentioned before is that you felt like you had this new alien body that you're trying to get used to, right? So with going through menopause and stuff like that, what are some things you're doing differently now than you were before, like pre-menopause? Yeah,
that alien body was fun because it's all the things that would have worked in the past weren't working. I could go run 10 miles. I mean, I looked at a picture of myself from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could go run 10, 12 miles, but I was pretty chubby. So like then during that time, right, then I couldn't go run 10 miles. And it was just, okay, and now I'm hot and now I'm freezing. And today I feel like I can do everything. And the next day I feel like I've never worked out in my life before, running, lifting, anything. It was like I could eat seemingly healthy and it didn't matter. Or I could shovel chocolate in my face all day and it didn't matter. There was no difference. Probably because neither one was days and days and weeks and months and, you know, the consistency piece. But like it was just, there was a level of frustration of, hey, I was a collegiate athlete. I should be able to do more than what I'm doing and I can't. And that's also part of my, you know, my mental health obviously is working out and stuff. And so I think now just when you're strength training, obviously you're training yourself physically, but there's a ton of mental training that goes in there too, right? You're overcoming things, you're pushing things. You know, I remember when I first started, I was working on bench press and I was trying to go up in weight a little bit and I put 95 pounds on the bar and I didn't have a spotter and I was in my garage using my bench and all of a sudden I was stuck like this and I'm like, oh God, I can't get this weight up. What do I do? And I got myself out. I turned and I dropped aside and put it back up. But now 95 pounds is a warm-up weight for me, right? So physically I've gotten stronger, but mentally, okay, I know I can do this. I did this. Now I'm gonna try the next thing. I don't know if I can do it yet, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna push myself. So the mental strength and the confidence built is huge. And then my body has just responded very well to the strength training and the change in macros. And I don't feel like it's an alien body anymore.
I love that. So obviously we've been working together for a few months or almost a year now, right? And so what's one of the biggest takeaways you've taken from the program? Or did you ever have an aha moment like during the program where you're like, wow, like this makes total sense why we're doing this instead of that?
There's been a few things. I mean, I have to tell you, like right when we started, and so when I got my access to the app, even before I had a program put in there, I just practiced. Okay, I'm gonna track what I'm eating. And you guys were like, oh, good, you're already in there playing, good. But the first thing when I got like nutritional goals, oh, I have to eat like 700 calories more a day than what I'm eating. And I thought, oh my God, I am going to be huge. And then I had to sit back and go, okay, wait a second. You need to trust your coach that he knows what he's doing. And if you end up getting huge, we'll figure it out. But you have to trust. There's a reason. Like, they know what they're doing, so follow. And I did. And it's like, wait, why am I eating 700 calories more per week or per day, and I'm losing a pound a week? And I wasn't necessarily, I don't know if you remember, but when I came in, I told you, I said, my goal isn't about the scale, really, because if I focus on the scale too much and what those numbers are too much, that won't be good. But I've also gotten to the point now where, the scale is just data. It's just data. There's not an emotional attachment to it anymore. It's just data. But it was a little crazy though. It's like, wait, I am stuffing myself to where I really don't feel like I can eat one more thing and I'm losing weight. And then even as I hit a point where my weight leveled out and maintained, as I said before, my body comp was changing. It's like, okay, I have to go get shorts that are 2 sizes small. And I literally bought the exact same shorts that I had, but 2 sizes smaller, because everything was working. And I just, like I said, they know what they're doing. Trust your coach. And then there's been a few lifts that I've been doing specifically, like Bulgarian split squats. I love to hate, or I hate to love, I'm not sure which, but I'm doing them, and all of a sudden I'm doing some hill runs, and I'm like, oh, that's where that strength just came in, because that single leg strength that I just worked on there is now, for my same effort, I'm going up this hill way faster than I did 2 months ago.
100%. Obviously that strength carries over, and it's cool to see it in action, right? It's cool to obviously increase the weights on your Bulgarian split squats, but it's cool to see how this translates to other things you're doing day to day. Obviously you're a coach, right? So you have been coaching for a long time. Why did you feel the need to work with somebody else where you've already had kind of prior experience? And what sort of things did you get out of coaching that you weren't necessarily expecting that you really enjoyed? Well,
I think even the coach needs a coach. Like, I can program my running. I know running. I'm actually a Hall of Fame running coach. So I know how to put that stuff together really well. And yes, we have done some weight training with my teams, but it was based off of what we had done when I was in college, or we had, I'm not an expert in that area, like I say. So I think just one of the things, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to invest this time and effort into strength training, that I was working from a point of somebody else knowing what they're doing with me. And I've learned so much. I mean, you guys do a fabulous job of making sure that you're not just throwing workouts at us, you're educating us on the various different aspects of whatever, nutrition and lifting and everything. There's a reason I try to be at every Wednesday call. I'm still learning so much. Even, somebody ask a random question, it's like, oh, that makes sense, right? But I think, as I say, for that aspect, it was really important for me to be working with somebody else in that area. And also, having somebody else there to support you is huge, right?
100%, right? That extra accountability goes a long way, for sure. And so if you could go back to your day one of the program, what piece of advice would you give yourself to set you up for success in the future?
Gosh, that is a good question. I think the thing I had to tell myself, just trust your coach, trust your coach, trust your coach.
Sometimes it's hard to give up that control. Right?
Oh, yeah, and I'm a control freak, so yeah, it is. But I really, and even in some of my early calls, back and forth and just conversation, it's like, okay, I'm not sure why I'm doing this. And I'm not really afraid to ask, what's this doing, or what's that for, or whatever. But the trust your coach. The other thing is, because it took me a while to send in some video, but then once I did, it was like, oh, this is a great tool. So maybe that piece is just, if you're unsure of a lift, if you're unsure of your technique, utilize that. Utilize your resources. We have our coaches for a reason. Take that video, even if you think it looks really bad, even if you think you're doing it completely wrong. That's why you should take it, because if I take a video of me back squatting, for example, and send it to you, and you go, yeah, Pam, you're going down 2 inches. You need to go down way further than that, but you're gonna help me fix it. You're not going to laugh at me. You're going to help me fix it, which I guess then goes back to trust your coaches.
100%. And those form review videos are definitely super useful to get those little tweaks. And that way I can also go back in and adjust your program to fix those deficits, right? So if your knees are caving in, or if you're not able to get full depth, well, what other drills, like in terms of mobility or strength, can we do to make your squats that much easier for you?
Yeah.
So that way you're squatting, that way you're squatting without pain, that way you're squatting to full depth, and that way you can progress week after week after week.
Right. Yeah, that's how I won box squats. Sending in a squat video. I won box squats, which I love box squats. I would do box squats all the time now. I love them.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, Pam. You've been so awesome to work with over the last few months, and I look forward to keep working with you as well. If you guys have any questions for Pam, you can find her at
Princess of Fun.
Princess of Fun on Instagram. We'll put it on the screen. So if you guys want to ask her any questions or ask her experience, you can definitely do that as well. And then obviously, if you guys are interested in coaching and working with Team Aspire Fit, go ahead and just go to Instagram, just DM me the word coaching, and then I'll get you set up. So other than that, you guys all have a good day. Catch you guys later.